So 10 Accelerator is what it's called. What it is they have people apply who have ideas for startups, and then it's a 10-week program where whatever 10 are selected, there are 10 groups that are selected to actually be a part of it. They each get matched up with a mentor. And they get a little bit of funding to kind of sustain them over the 10-week program, and they have ideas, and they work on it, and they work with each other. They talk to like successful startups and all the investors and stuff, and so essentially it's supposed to be an incubator for new ideas. And then at the very end, you do a pitch day for everyone to see, and at which a lot of investors are at. And then if someone likes your idea, they'll get in contact with you, and then they actually start a business. And so that's how they got started, and they got $500,000 of investments after the 10X program, and then at that point, that's when they asked me to come back. And so I moved back in December of 2011. I mean, the idea for Accepted came to be in TUC. They were sitting in the student union in Tangiman, and that's when they came up with the idea of Accepted. And then Accepted was only successful because we had some people who took a leap of faith with us and said, yes, we'll if you build it, we'll use it. And one of those people was CCM. And given the fact that we're all alumni from UC, like, it's just pretty storybook. I mean, it seems like a fairy tale, and I think that also then motivates all of us to be very, because Don and Derek went to school for free here because they had full ride scholarships. Like, if it wasn't, and because of the honors program, they got other, like, they were able to blossom this idea and continue to get jobs. So UC is tied throughout. I mean, throughout the Accepted, story.
Yeah.
And I think that that's motivation for us to continue to contribute back to UC as much as we can as well.
So after CCM and picking on them, and did you see success? Like, it was like, oh, it's working.
It worked. It did. I mean, it had. We've had our bumps in the road. CCM and Otterbein and Ohio Northern are still our clients.
Yeah.
We went from those three to my job when they brought me on in January was to expand our client list. So we've gone from 3 to actually 86, because I was 85 yesterday when we talked, but 86 because I got a contract back yesterday afternoon. Actually 87 because the sales associate that I work with, she also got a contract back too. So we're at 87 now, and that list is growing by the day. The goal that we will looks very likely is 100 by the end of this calendar year.
Oh, wow.
So we would have gone from 3 to 100 in literally less than a year.
Yeah, that's insane.
Which is very, very impressive. Yeah, that's incredible growth. And we will probably hit that goal, which is great. But yeah, I think, just reflecting on it, like, the experience I had at UC in the leadership roles with the mentors I had led me to then be able to get into a very hard Teach for America program. It's very difficult to get into. The experiences there, both in the classroom and then working for Teach for America, gave me some very good corporate skills, just how to be, and that are very transferable to what I do now in regards to leadership, and then also about time management, all this other stuff, how you motivate, so on and so forth. And so it makes sense then that now that I try to give back as much as you can, either with your time, your talents, or your treasures. And so I try, to give back to UC, and to our high school, everything. Like, there's so many areas that, time is obviously something I can do more than treasures. We don't have really a ton of money at this age, because we're still kind of growing. But that, I think, is because we had the experiences that we did, it makes it like a natural fit to then try to allow someone else to have that experience too. I forget who it was. Someone, maybe Otto Budding, or someone who's a big name at UC, said that I got to go to UC because someone that I don't know gave money to the university that allowed me to a scholarship. All three, Don, Derek, obviously honors plus myself, I had some scholarships to come. And so it is my responsibility to be that for someone else.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. There are ways to do that, like through time or actual monetary gifts, or all of them.
Right. Any future other than keep Accepted, like, growing? Any other future plans, or?
I hope so. Yeah. I think on the work front, Accepted. If we continue to do very well, the company should grow rather expansively, and eventually it'll probably be big enough that it'll either be running itself, or we won't be doing as much of the day-to-day stuff, or someone will, like a bigger company, will buy it out because it's a good product.
Do you think for for the alumni purposes and, you know, the big circle, as we've talked about, giving back to after you graduate and kids just kind of really not taking that on, you think it would be a good idea, like, to put a documentary together of, like, examples like you guys with Accepted and, like, you know, to give to freshman orientation, like, look, after you graduate and whatever career you go on to, you know, it's always good to give back and instead of just, you know, all right, I'm done with UCA.
Sure.
Like,
Yes.
like, you know, just kind of better ideas for the alumni to kind of, so people like look at
Absolutely.
it differently. I feel like people.
Yeah. I once read an article somewhere that said that your young alumni, or there's studies all over the place that say young alumni are probably one of the worst groups to stay engaged with the university.
They're in debt.
Though they have probably the strongest connection to UC because they were just, or to the school, they were just there because they graduated. It's hard for them either to get engaged or get money. Like, it's tough. And the article came to be was the main message was that, well, you can't start stewarding and teaching young alumni how to be alumni after they graduate and expect them to be able to do that, because it takes 10 years for that understanding to kind of sink in. That needs to happen the first day they walk on campus, not the last day they walk on.
Yeah.
And so
I agree.
So that idea of, like, though, I mean, not everyone gets scholarships, and not everyone, I mean, some people pay a lot of money to come to UC, and it's very hard, and I mean, but somehow those students can still get something out of their time here that allows them to see the value of giving back and making UC
It's
or
not
that
just
world.
4 years and done.
Yeah, it's not a 4 years and done type of thing. It's or 5 or 6, whatever it takes you. But it is needs to the mindset or the idea of your responsibility to be an ambassador and a Bearcat for life resides the first day you walk on campus to the end of time, essentially. Even when you walk off campus, your responsibility to come and give back and that's not unique to, I think, just colleges. I think high schools and otherwise. I think it's more of a mindset of, like, someone else did something that allowed you to experience something great. And mixing there may be other things, but now it's your responsibility to do that for somebody else, somebody you don't even know.
It's very selfless.
Yeah, like, I mean, you think the world works that way.